Wait a minute, this isn't Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in to another special episode of Tyler Vance Rants. I am your host, Tyler Vance himself, and you're not. It's January 4th, 1985. Happy New Year. And approximately 2 weeks ago, on an actual Tuesday, TNT hosted the wedding of Mr. and Mrs. Paul Vachon. Over the absence, the show itself has undergone some significant changes. During its initial run throughout all of 1984, Tuesday Night Titans was aired for 2 hours on Tuesdays, but now it's been chopped in half to simply 1 hour and moved over to Friday. Despite this new time slot, the intro card itself still displays Tuesday Night Titans. However, the show itself is simply referred to as TNT by everybody that attends, including the hosts themselves, Vince McMahon and Lord Awful Alfred Hayes. Are you ready to experience some deja vu? I'm not. But considering this is what I like to talk about, I'll just grit my teeth and push myself through it. Back in August of 1984, special episode 33.1 of my series, linked down below for your viewing pleasure, WWF champion Hulk Hogan attempted to run Mean Gene Okerlund through several training exercises over the period of a week in an effort to get Mean Gene whipped into mean lean shape. Well, Hogan is back at it again, and this time it's with his newest obsession, Hillbilly Jim, who Hogan has promised to whip into shape and get the Mountain Man ring ready.
I'm gonna get you down to the gym, get you in shape, and this is some gasoline. Well, yeah, there it is. Taste it. I've even got some vitamins. You gotta take a stand. It don't have to hide. I'm feeling strong about right and wrong. Listen, come on. Well, you gotta keep your balance. Hold on. That's pretty good.
I almost bought into Hulkamania during that previous training montage with Mean Gene Okerlund and Hulk Hogan. But I'll admit, I was young and naive back then. I've since hardened into a more strong-willed individual, and Hulk Hogan's tricks won't be so quick to fool me this time. Hulk Hogan brainwashed Hillbilly Jim into thinking that the animals in the crowd literally had his best interests in mind, all in an effort to steal away the big dumb man from Kentucky away from Rowdy Roddy Piper. Why would Hulk Hogan do this? Well, I'll tell you why. He saw what Hillbilly Jim would have been under management from Rowdy Roddy Piper. A threat. Now with Hogan behind Hillbilly Jim's training, I guarantee you that Mountain Man will not be challenging for the WWF Championship anytime soon. They teach him dumb down in Kentucky, and I guarantee you after all this training, Hillbilly Jim has formed some kind of bond that he views as friendship and will refuse to face off against his friend. Dumb. Just plain stupid. You could have had it all, Jim. Nikolai Volkoff is the next guest on TNT and attempts to sing a Russian song with the TNT band, but isn't very pleased with their performance and thus gives them a piece of his mind.
I don't like it, you're Russian, American, they cannot sing a Russian song.
It all comes down to respect. According to Volkoff himself, the Russian people have significantly more class than their American counterparts, as whether the country is friendly or not, when their national anthem is played in Soviet Russia, all of the Soviet citizens show respect. Whereas whenever Nikolai Volkoff himself tries to sing the Soviet Russian national anthem on United States soil, he's drowned out of the arena with considerable boos.
In terms of showing a little class, then, would you want to remove your hat here on TNT?
No, this is my Russian hat.
A prime example of this is when Vince McMahon shows us a brief snippet of footage where Special Delivery Jones and his partner at the time, Aldo Marino, were preparing to face off against the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkoff, who were accompanied by their manager, Classy Freddie Blassie. As Volkoff begins to try and sing the Soviet-Russian national anthem, Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo head down to the ring waving American flags, all in an effort to disrupt and disrespect Classy Freddie Blassie's clients. As a result, Nikolai Volkoff makes a promise to both Windham and Rotundo.
They should be disqualified. They should be fined to pay dues on that because that's no way it should be done. If somebody stick nose in our business, we no back up. We hit a full blast front way. It's just gonna be another 2 Americans. We gonna put them down.
Up until now, Nikolai Volkoff has managed to remain undefeated, whether it's in singles or tag team competition. No single individual nor no team have been able to best the Russian. Every victory takes Volkoff one step closer to facing off against WWF champion Hulk Hogan for the championship.
The referees against me, but I still am a winner. Never been defeated yet.
Since I did just touch on his participation in the tag team division, let's take a moment to focus on the rather odd couple pairing of the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkoff. The only thing that they had in common prior to teaming together was the fact that both of them were managed by Classy Freddie Blassie. So how did they become such a well-oiled machine so quickly?
Iron Sheik is the only man here in the United States that I can trust.
The next guest on TNT is Captain Lou Albano, who comes out to the usual jeers. Wait, what? Why is the studio audience cheering Captain Albano? And why is Captain Lou Albano being so friendly with Vince McMahon and Lord Awful Alfred Hayes?
I felt I had to come out with something special because certainly Titan is the #1 show in the nation. And to be here and listen to this band, it is one of a kind. I've never seen musicians in my life that could compare.
Something's wrong. Something's so wrong with Captain Albano that it's making me sick to my stomach. Even McMahon's noticed.
An out-and-out rift between you and Roddy Piper.
But I believe I've seen the light through the eyes of Cyndi Lauper and her manager David Wolf, and especially through our world champion.
So it's Cyndi Lauper, that loser boyfriend of hers, Damon Wolf, and the WWF champion Hulk Hogan that we have to thank for Captain Lou Albano's ridiculous behavior of late.
I made a few false statements that I admitted was wrong. I apologize to Cyndi.
The captain I know would never apologize for anything he's ever said. Apparently, outside of the three idiots of Hogan, Lauper, and Wolf whispering in his ear, Captain Lou Albano took offense with some of the comments that Hot Rod stated about the pop star recently on Championship Wrestling when they were both interviewed by Vince McMahon. You can find this interview as well as the start of Captain Lou Albano's descent into madness on episode 50 of my series, linked down below for your viewing pleasure. The icing on the cake is the honor ceremony that occurred on December 28th, 1984 at Madison Square Garden.
I'm upset. I'm actually ashamed for the first time in my life to be a professional wrestler.
Now, we don't quite yet know what exactly went down at Madison Square Garden on the 28th of December, as last week on Championship Wrestling, Vince McMahon stated that this week's Championship Wrestling we'd seed footage. However, according to what the captain has to say, it was a wild time.
Roddy Piper had the audacity to come up into that ring, and busted me over the head when you took that little 105-pound rock star, Cyndi Lauper, and purposely kicked her, and then you picked up David Wolf and slammed him to the mat.
Yes!
Thank the good Lord for the world champion, Hulk Hogan, who came to my rescue. I'll always be indebted.
Now, usually I take the captain at his word, because up until now, he's been nothing but respectable and honest. But since he's been developing some weird characteristics of late and has Cyndi Lauper, Hulk Hogan, and David Wolf all whispering in his ear, I have to cast some doubt on these accusations. I'm sure the footage that we see on WWF Championship Wrestling this week will clear all of this right up.
You're a moron! You're gonna pay! You're gonna get it back! Your time is coming near!
Thankfully, the TNT producers have realized the error of their ways, and also probably realized at the same time that their ratings would go back up if they unbanned Roddy Piper, who is allowed to be interviewed by Vince McMahon next so that Hot Rod can defend himself against the baseless accusations that Captain Lou Albano spewed.
How's your face? Nice to see you again. Now here I'm standing. What would you like to do about it, even if you wanted to?
Now that introductions are over, Hot Rod promises to conduct himself better than his fat slob of a predecessor, Captain Lou Albano, which prompts McMahon to ask the Scotsman whether or not he feels that Captain Albano, Cyndi Lauper, and David Wolf all deserve an apology based on the actions that Hot Rod himself stands accused of.
For what? For what? I'm cleaning up the scum of the earth, man. Don't you know
You're
that?
doing what?
I'm cleaning up the scum of the earth. The video is She-Bop reading the pictures of a Blue Boy magazine. You know what that's talking about? That's talking about masturbation. That's what you got your kids.
I never! That trash is aired on the radio where children can hear it? It's no doubt that youth such as the Tonga Kid listen to that tasteless subject matter contained within Cyndi Lauper's music, and thus explains why he's lashed out so violently against upstanding citizens like Roddy Piper.
What they're doing is they're degenerating all of society. Cyndi Lauper went and she grabbed my leg. If a woman hits me, I hit her back. She wants to bop, I'll show her how to bop. She bops, he bops, we all bop, we'll pop.
Captain Lou Albano has heard enough, and he returns to the TNT set, getting into Hot Rod's face. The problem with Roddy Piper being on TNT isn't that he doesn't behave himself, it's that people such as Captain Lou Albano, Vince McMahon, and Lord Awful Alfred Hayes always treat him with such disrespect and push him, sometimes even physically, into a corner.
Me thanks, buzz off, punk! Oh, buzz off. It's supposed to be, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Piper, for joining us.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. I don't really care.
What's a man supposed to do? Just stand there and let himself be hit by some greaseball washed up manager? Hell no.
Yeah, get off. How about you, huh? You want to try?
I'd like to thank you very much. We'd like to...
This is not the end, Vinny!
Welcome to 1985 in professional wrestling. It only gets better from here. Thanks for tuning in to another special episode of Tyler Vance Rants. It's the new year of 1985, so do yourself a favor and hit the bell, like the video, and subscribe so you never miss an episode that's released for the next 365 days. You can also follow me on social media, where I'll make every day feel like it's 1985 in pro wrestling all over again. That's all for now. So long. And defend himself against the baseless and crap. Thankfully, considering his accused, what the hell?